part of me was like, oh, I'm really intrigued to find out who this
it
individual
actually
is, as if I found that out, but that
Not
was
that top secret then.
not really top secret in the end,
Not
Phew.
doing that again.
I'm not coming here again. I'm not coming back again.
Hi, my name's Amin, and welcome to What You Sayin. This is a podcast about exercise, sports massage, lifestyle, and other topics. Today, I'm joined by Nick from Tip Top Therapy. Thanks for coming.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Good to meet you too. So, tell us a bit about yourself.
Yeah, so my name's Nick. I graduated from uni in 2011. So I did a joint honours degree, did it in sports massage and exercise therapy.
Nice.
Then I also did sports development as well. Always knew from like being at uni that I wanted to really go down the sports massage route. Just got a real interest in looking after, somebody's, injuries, problems, whatever they might be faced with. Really enjoyed learning about like the anatomy and
Yeah.
how muscles work and kind of just, the stuff going on in people's bodies and how that can really impact on them sort of on their daily lives. So started off, left uni, and don't really know what I expected apart from because I almost expected like I'd just come out of uni, I'll go straight into this line of work.
Yeah.
People start coming to see me. I hadn't even thought that I would be self-employed. I'd literally just been in the bubble of being at university,
yeah.
stuck there, focused on like getting my degree. So when I did come out and it was like, I was really lucky actually. I got an opportunity to work at a clinic local to where I lived. And I thought, oh, fantastic. And I remember that they were saying like, oh, which days can you come to clinic? And I was like, oh, I'll come on a Tuesday and a Thursday. And like, oh yeah, we'll just try that for now, sort of thing. And then I was like, oh, I'll see you there next week then, on my first day. And I literally turned up and I was like, what do I bring with me? What do I need? Because nobody had really told me. And I just thought on my feet, thought, oh, I need some massage lotion, towels, and all this sort of stuff, bits of equipment. And they were like, oh, Nick, you've not got anybody booked in. And I was like, oh, right, okay. And I kind of thought, oh, yeah, obviously, yeah, nobody's going to book in with me. But then I think I just presumed, because I was working at a clinic, that people would just be there waiting for me.
Yeah.
So it was a bit of an eye opener. And from that point on, I was like, right, okay, how am I going to get people to come and see me?
Yeah.
And that was the biggest challenge. And it's still the biggest challenge today.
Marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Just, I don't know about you, but when you're at university, you do your degrees, you're obviously so focused on learning about what it is, you're so in depth with that and passing your exams and you're doing a dissertation, etc.
Yeah.
But to actually then come out of that and think, right, how am I going to deliver a business that's going to serve the local population? Got to market myself, the service, dealing with clients, customers, not always going to be positive experiences, could be negative experiences as well.
Yeah.
You don't get trained up in any of that, and it's all literally like a real steep learning curve.
It's almost like learning on the job as you go, and there's a lot of trial and error.
Yeah.
I found that even the negative experiences serve a purpose.
Yeah.
So I mean, we were just talking about a couple of stories before the start of the podcast, and people have nefarious intentions, and sometimes they may want you to come to the house for like ulterior motives.
Yeah.
But as sports massage professionals, I think there's a clear distinction between, a sports massage and other types of services that are offered. So yeah, some stories that we've discussed were quite eye-opening into what people request and things that they want. But as professionals, we've got to set boundaries and keep ourselves safe as well.
Yeah, it's the most important thing, keeping yourself safe. Because, like, as we'd mentioned previously, like, if you're not comfortable in the environment as a therapist, how are you then expected to deliver the best
premium service
for the paying customer? Do you know what I mean? and you want repeat business and everything like that. But if you just don't feel comfortable, you're not going to be on your game at
Yeah.
all. You're going to be thinking about other things,
Yeah.
maybe in the building that's going on, or the client that you're working with, and thinking, right, okay, I need to get out of it. I
Yeah.
don't feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's setting those boundaries, and that's something that it's a continuous battle. Do you know what I mean? I
Yeah.
think it will always be like that,
Yeah.
unfortunately. Um, but just having it takes a lot of confidence as a therapist to almost say to somebody, no,
No, that's
sorry, you can't
understandable.
do that,
Yeah.
or I'm going to stop the session. I've never stopped a session, but I look back from my previous experiences, and I've got other examples where I should have absolutely stopped the session, but I
Yeah.
didn't. So I thought, oh, this person's paying me money, and
Yeah.
it's a client, and I need the money to help me
Because
as
it's
a
almost like
business,
your
and
reputation. Like,
yeah,
I don't want to let people down.
yeah, absolutely.
Um, but yeah, what's so on the back of that? What's the strangest experience that you've had in this sort of field or this environment?
I think the strangest one would be the that individual. So I was contacted about doing some work at a hotel in Bradford.
Okay.
Um, and as we were just chatting before this, about that situation, and it wasn't the client themselves who was ringing me up, it kind of threw me straight away.
Yeah.
It was like, kind of the conversation went around like, oh, they were saying, oh, my client is in the area this weekend. They're in Bradford, and they always request to book in for a massage because he's got a bad back, etc., etc. Would you be able to do that? I was like, oh, okay. Can you tell me a bit more about your client? What are the name and and literally was saying, I'm sorry, but I can't tell you his name or anything about him. It's top secret. So automatically,
It
alarm
sets you
bells
on
were
edge.
ringing in my head, as you can imagine.
Yeah,
Thinking,
yeah, yeah. I can imagine.
who is this person? Do you know what I mean? So now doing a bit of research, thinking, right, what's going on in that area that weekend, trying to suss out like um, who was in the area, who's in Bradford. Are they at like a music event? Is there something going on somewhere else that maybe I just don't know about? But also there's that part of me was like, oh, I'm really intrigued to find out who
Who
this
it
individual
actually is.
is.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm a paying customer, so I was like,
Yeah.
oh, great that they've contacted me.
Yeah.
Like they've obviously
They're putting
seen
their trust
put the
into
trust
you
in
as a
me.
professional.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, what shall I do? I was umming and ahhing about it all and everything like that. And yeah, I got the details pretty much on the day of where the client was, and
Wow.
turned up. And what I did is I let a family member know where I
That you
was
was there.
going,
Yeah.
what time I was going to be there from, and I just said, "Can you just keep your phone on you in
Yeah.
case I need to contact you?" Because I felt that uneasy about it. Like I reflect now, I think, what was I doing? Like, why
Yeah.
was I doing this?
How did that make you feel? Like having to almost put your guard up and going into this environment where you don't know who the client is, you don't know anything about them, you've not had any sort of vetting process or
Mm.
sort of rapport to build with the client. That must have been really uneasy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was pretty scared. Yeah, I won't say I woke up that morning.
Do I
Do
go?
I really want to do this today? Do you know,
Yeah.
like I was setting off on the journey thinking, shall I just cancel it? It just doesn't feel right, this. But then the one side of me was thinking, oh no, it's my service. I've got to deliver. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to
Yeah.
let anybody down.
Because it's your reputation
It's my reputation.
at the end of the day.
Yeah. So I was completely, but then I remember going in there and I was like so alert to everything, like from, I know it sounds silly, but like where the hotel was, how do I get in and out of the hotel?
Yeah.
Which room was I going to go to, and everything like that. I had my phone on standby, and I was holding it in my hand, and all this sort of stuff. I mean, the good thing about the story is that actually the session went well, with the client and everything. It
Yeah.
did go well, and everything. But I mean, I must admit, throughout the whole thing, did feel uncomfortable. I mean, he was fine. There was no problems from that point of view.
Yeah.
There was a bit of a language barrier, which obviously there's a bit of it that impacts a little bit on interaction and everything, but the session, it was
It went
absolutely
really well.
fine, went well, and I think I, did a good piece of work, but then left and was like, right, okay,
Not
phew,
doing that again.
I'm not coming here again. I'm not coming back again. Um, and yeah, that's just one example of a situation. But me being me, I was a little bit nosy. I was like, all right,
I wonder
I
who it
want to
is.
research who this person is, and literally it just shows you the power of the internet.
Yeah.
I managed to find out about something going on in that area, and found out who the individual was, and
Wow.
got the name and why they were in Bradford that weekend. And I was like, oh gosh, as if I'd found that out, but that
Not that
was
top secret then.
also not really top secret in the end. No.
Yeah, that's really interesting to hear about. So the reason why I wanted to start this podcast and to get this content out there is to share our knowledge with the general population, um, in terms of the benefits of sports massage. So let's just move on to discussing like the physiological effects um, of getting a sports massage. Do you get massages yourself? Sports massages?
Not as frequent as I should do, to be
Okay.
honest. No. And that's something like I'm pretty quite an honest guy,
Yeah.
like I'd rather share with people that actually I probably don't do enough to look after myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can preach it,
Yeah.
but at the same time I probably don't do enough. Um, so I need to get more massages. I do look after my body
Yeah.
in other different ways by
Yeah.
just keeping active and whatever. I do some stretching, but I do know that it's time to fit it in.
Yeah.
There's obviously the cost element, which is absolutely, it's where our clients are as well. They've
Yeah.
got to think, can I actually afford to book in a session?
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I should do more. Absolutely.
So when you do book in for a massage, how do you feel afterwards as a therapist yourself, knowing like the physiological effects,
Yeah.
how it, removes lactic acid, how it improves blood flow, etc., etc. From your personal experience, how do you feel after when you have got a massage?
I feel great because I think because we've got that understanding to begin with.
Yeah.
Um, when you experience it, you probably feel even better because you know what's
What's
actually
happening?
happened, what's occurred in the session,
Yeah.
and how you are going to feel a lot better in the days afterwards. Um, so it's kind of like the other way around for us. We understand the real benefits of the treatment.
Yeah.
So whereas you can imagine there'll be individuals on the other side who'll be like,
Is
don't
it actually worth my
is it
time?
actually worth my time,
Yeah.
my money, the effort to put in to book a session, fitting into people's diaries. People are working full time or
Yeah.
whatever, got childcare issues and stuff. So there's all those barriers in people's ways. But like I say, I think once people have that initial session
Yeah.
where they go, actually, oh wow, that actually did make a difference. You know, it's huge. But I think there's a big what I've learned over the years is the big expectation that people feel they're going to drastically improve after one
After one
session,
session. Yeah.
just one session only. They could have been struggling with their back pain for you know years, and it can't just disappear overnight just with one session
Yeah.
alone. It's going to take a lot of repeated work and sessions.
And I think it comes down to like personal responsibility. So, like for example, with myself, I've got a long-standing back injury, and if I don't stretch or do my mobility exercises,
Yeah.
my whole body will seize up. Um, I get massages when I can.
Mm.
However, the injury is only going to improve when I put the effort in,
Mm.
and I can't place that responsibility onto my massage therapist or
Yeah.
the therapist who I'm going to see.
Yeah.
It has to be some personal accountability.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and we've spoken to various people on the podcast, and a lot of the themes that are coming out are education.
Mm-hmm.
Not many people know the effects So we've just got some talking points. There's things like increased blood flow.
Yeah.
You reduce your muscle tension, your range of movement increases,
Yeah.
it calms your nervous system, can reduce stress hormones.
Yeah.
All these factors. It can improve your mental health,
Hmm.
and I think before knowing the benefits, I would probably be the same.
Yeah.
But knowing the
So,
things that we do, you know, exercise is probably one of the best things out there.
yeah. Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
best way to recover is by
Yeah.
getting a massage.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think the real challenge that is there is it's still probably relatively like a new um service. It's at the moment it's not part of the NHS. You've got physiotherapy treatment within the NHS.
Yeah,
It's not accepted, and I think that's a big no-no for some people. A lot of people put trust and faith in the NHS, and
yeah,
they see physiotherapy as part of that. So they think, oh yeah, I get injured, I need to go see a physio. That's the first thing on their mind when they get injured.
yeah,
Whereas some physios would argue, and we would argue, that actually you don't need to see a physio
yeah,
on that occasion. You
yeah.
need you need to book in with a sports massage therapist who actually is the best person to deliver
To
that.
to to evaluate and
Yeah,
to assess.
absolutely.
And
Yeah,
there is a massive responsibility placed on the NHS. However, as unfortunate as it is, the NHS isn't fit for practice, and it is gradually becoming more and more privatised.
yeah, yeah,
And I think as the profession evolves, there will be more emphasis placed upon sports massage, manual therapy,
yeah.
um, because as much as you stretch and as much as you do mobility exercises, the deep tissue work that occurs under tension, under stress, cannot happen any other way.
Yeah, true.
There has to be some sort of manual manipulation into the muscle fibers.
Totally.
And,
Yeah.
you can't get that from a chiropractic appointment. You can't get that from an osteopath appointment.
Yeah.
A physio appointment, there is some elements of massage. However, it's
Mm.
predominantly stretching on the
Mm.
NHS. So I think there is scope for maybe the NHS to reevaluate
Mm.
the overall system and incorporate sports massages as
Absolutely.
part of the NHS.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There'll be so many people who go to the doctors with muscle related injuries and problems, and
Yeah,
like I'm just thinking of an example there of one of my clients from quite a few years ago in that first clinic that I was telling you about at the start there,
yeah,
when I first started. And she that morning had been to A&E. She was in that much pain. She was she thought something drastically was wrong with her. So
yeah,
went to A&E, waited for hours and hours and hours, got assessed, and they said, "Oh, it's your muscles in and around your neck and between your shoulder blades, your traps, rhomboids that are just really sore. You need to get some treatment for them." And luckily, she found me,
yeah.
and she trusted me. And yeah, don't get me wrong, like she was in a lot of pain, even through the session as well. She was like, "Oh, that is just so painful. What are
Painful.
you doing?" But I really advised her. I said, "Look, this is how I can really help you. It's going to take a little bit of time to get there." And
Yeah,
she put the trust in me. So grateful. Like we booked in like a session every week or two, and gradually she made progress. After about four sessions, she was almost like pain free,
yeah.
and she was just like, "Oh, thank you so much." And at that point, we looked at like tapering off a little bit, and I said, "Look, we'll keep the sessions going,
And move
but
into more of a maintenance.
maintenance thing, whether it be once a month, and then it was like once every 2 months, once every 3 months."
Yeah.
And that really, really worked. And she was like, "Yeah, fantastic, great service for me."
I mean, there's benefits for so many different types of people.
Yeah,
Desk workers, athletes, people who go to the gym,
yeah,
and I think the main issue that I find with clients booking in is postural towards the um, upper trap.
Yes.
shoulder area.
Yeah.
You know, we were talking about it on another episode. Everything has become so sedentary now. You drive to work, you sit on the couch, you watch TV, you work from a desk.
Yeah.
You know, if you're sitting for 8 hours a day, that is the equivalent of doing heavy labor
Mhm.
on your body. So, you know, we do need to be active as possible to try and mitigate being sat down all the time.
Yeah. Think about it like this. It's so easy to become active nowadays. So many gyms opening up,
Yeah,
cheaper gym memberships, you know, all those opportunities. There's so much going on online, like really good seeing images of people doing, I don't know, workouts, and there's different workout high rocks and all this sort of stuff coming out, which people think, oh, that's cool. I want to give that a go.
yeah,
But then at the same time, it's so easy just to not do anything because everything's so convenient for you. You know, whether it just be ordering food from just your sofa,
yeah.
like we just sat on the sofa now. Like you
Just,
can literally do
just
it
get a
in a
pizza in.
second. We get a pizza to arrive here in a minute. It's so easy just to sit on your phone all day and scroll because
Yeah,
it's so addictive, and that just means more and more people are just not moving. And obviously, you know, cost as well is a huge thing. You know, things are a bit more expensive nowadays to do stuff,
yeah.
go out and about and buying food. But yeah,
But then I think also like as a way for people to introduce themselves to exercise and to the space, although cost is a barrier, there's also so many opportunities to do things that are free.
yeah,
Walking, running,
yeah.
yoga, Pilates. Well, I don't know if you can do that for free, but you can try it at
Well, you
home.
can you can you can watch YouTube videos,
You
can't you?
yeah,
This is the thing
just
nowadays.
put it
You
on
can
the
do that.
TV.
Yeah,
Um, you know, there's so many things that are available, and I think a lot of the exercise elements um, that people can do either from home or from a gym over the long term are potentially going to prevent long term health issues.
yeah,
And I think that's one of the main points of this podcast to try and increase people's exercise participation.
yeah.
Um,
Absolutely.
so for people wanting to book in for a massage, when would you recommend to book?
So I would say, to be honest, I think if you're in pain, it's almost too late.
Yeah,
Obviously, it's the time where people do book in
yeah,
because I think, actually, I'm in a lot of pain now. I need to go see somebody.
yeah.
But almost at that point, it's a little bit too late.
Because then you've got to almost rectify the issue
Yeah,
and go back 3 steps.
yeah, absolutely. And it's so really the optimal time is when you know something's just not right in your body. So, like for example, if you know your back is just feeling a little bit, you're getting this bit of recurrent back pain. It's not too painful at this stage, but you know something's just not right there.
Yeah,
That's kind of the optimal point to think, right, I think I need to go get this seen to.
yeah,
But on the flip side of that, this is what I think. I'm just thinking about people, and I do this myself. You think, oh, I'll leave it.
yeah.
It'll get better on its own. And sometimes it does. This is the thing with the human body. Like sometimes it can recover itself. But then there are times where actually it
You need
won't
that
get better.
intervention.
It's going to get worse and worse and worse. So I think sooner rather than later, because when it becomes too late, obviously that's when it's a bit of an emergency,
Yeah,
and you're asking people, can I come and see you? Can you see me today? Do you know what I mean? And you might be busy.
yeah,
You might be on holiday. You might be doing something else. You know what I mean? Like you can't. And then, but then they will then just go elsewhere
yeah.
and look for that
You know,
as
it's
soon
funny
as
you
there's no
say
one.
that. On the last 2 occasions where I've gone away on a Friday, I've had a phone call. Are you available? I need a massage, and it's like it's almost like a sign.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is or why it happens,
yeah,
but every time I go away, someone wants to like someone rings in.
yeah, yeah,
It's quite funny. I talk to my wife about it all the time. Like, oh, someone's just rung in, wants a massage, and then I might not hear from that person for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
mm.
But if we're busy, we're busy.
Yeah. Absolutely. You can't stop your life. You've got your own other stuff going on outside of work, haven't you? And you might be with a client that day. So I remember this. Just this brief example for you. I was doing a session with somebody a few years ago, and the agent of Lenny Henry contacted me and
Nice.
said, I'm Lenny Henry's agent. He's in Leeds this weekend, but can you come and do a massage? And I said, I'm really sorry, but I am actually with somebody in
Yeah.
a session. Can I give you a call back? And they're like, yeah, just give me a call back. So I finished the session, called them back, couldn't get through to them, never heard from them ever again. Just couldn't get through. So they'd obviously just been ringing round.
Finding elsewhere.
But what could I do? I've got to put the client I was with in that environment
Yeah.
first because they're paying me. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? At that moment. So I've missed out on an opportunity there, but I've done what's right in my eyes as a therapist and
Put your client
put
first.
my client first,
Yeah.
which is it should always be the way.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. On that note, we'll end the podcast. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. I'm the Muscle Maestro, and this has been What You Sayin.